What's up, people? We doing it live. Yeah, we back. Sideline to baseline with MB and KLEW, man.
KLEW.
We are so excited to
be. What did Charlie say? KLEW?
Yeah. KLEW. DJ KLEW. That's what it was. And I said, golly, man. Listen, you gonna stop saying that. On the old school say that.
Right.
But, man, what an amazing opportunity that we have, man, 3 days a week. I love to say to come in your living room, but it could be your car. It could be your job. It could be out at the sports bar while you watching a little TV, hanging out a little bit.
Hey, you see what Double A say, Inspector KLEW.
What's good, Double A? You see we done nicknamed you around here. Double A. Oh,
okay. And there go big sister checking in, Lisa, Shelly's sister. What's up, girl?
Lisa, and the Colt Jam. That'll take you back.
Yeah.
Take you back to your roots in Miami. Hey, look, man. The NFL has kicked off. Kansas City won. Really pretty much a blowout, MB. What I think of, and we'll talk about this a lot tonight, I'm sure, when we're going over the NFL, previewing the season. The NFL has changed, man. MB learned it before me. I learned it after him. It's a copycat league. And what I've seen from them, there are only a few teams that have went out and did exactly what Kansas City did. And Kansas City done said it, basically. Without saying it, we don't care about defense. Tyrann Mathieu was upset after the game and all that stuff. Listen, man, y'all ain't playing no D over there. It's not really. I know the scores are at the end of the night, but that's not who they care about around there. They trying to put up points and they saying, guess what? You can't catch us, MB.
I don't agree with that.
Okay.
You know, I think Kansas City, man, they put their money where their mouth is, right? Obviously, they gave Patrick Mahomes well-deserved, man, $500 million, right, to be their quarterback. They went out and put a first-round pick into their offense with the running back who showed up last night, did an excellent job. And then on the outside, they got the cheetah. They got Watson. They got one of the top tight ends, Kelsey, in the league. And right. I can see why you could say that. However, right, this past offseason, they franchised, right, Chris Jones, paid him. They traded for Frank Clark. They got the Honey Badger. So I think defensively, I mean, they're just not a one-sided team. I think their offense is so explosive. It can look that way on paper, just no different than the Rams, the greatest show on turf, right? They had a James Williams.
They stunk on D, though. And maybe it was Styles. They stunk on D, and maybe it's because of the style.
I'm saying, well, they had some good players. They didn't stink on D.
It's not that they didn't have good players. Like, I wouldn't say that the Kansas City Chiefs has bad players on defense. It just, like, think about the entire playoff run, right? They were down every game. Like, that's not speaking highly of your defense. Every single playoff game, including the Super Bowl, they were down. And who get them going? Their offense. And then who puts the defense in a position to win? Their offense. You know it's completely different. Like, you had an opportunity to play like that in Houston. You were like, man, boy, it showed different. We up 3 touchdowns. Boy, it showed different. Yeah. We up 10 points.
Yeah, but I don't look at when you talk about stunk, right? I look at Kansas City defense being in the middle of the pack. They got some players. They got some different makers on the defense. They're covering up better now. When I think about stunt, you got in mind. Yeah. I grew up during the age of the Dolphins where we had Dan Marino and we had no defense.
Right. My bad.
We had we had a shootout every week, right? That's not necessarily the story like you just meant to, but they got some players. They got some ballers. Obviously, they can't afford the injuries. They just lost another corner. They got one corner's out for suspension for 4 games, and they had a rookie that stepped up and did a great job. And then now their other corner, Warren, he fractured his wrist, I believe. Now he may be out. But their defense, I mean, they made some changes, and that was KLEW, what you're talking about. That was the Achilles heels a couple years ago. They had all offense and the defense with the kryptonite. So then they went and got Spagnuolo, right? And he brought some changes. And you know what? I mean, with him and his resume, far as with the New York Giants and stuff, the game plan he put together to stop, right, the New England Patriots, who's trying to be an undefeated team, and his D came up with an excellent defensive game plan. So, I mean, defensively, they're trying to do some things. And like you say last night, man, it wasn't even a game pretty much. I mean, Houston, Texas got some garbage points. But once Kansas City put the metal to the pedal, man, it was over with, man. It was a no contest. It was one-sided quick.
Yeah, I tell you what, it's going to be interesting, man. But you see them start off last night, and you look at that as a two-part game. That's a preseason game, first half, and a regular season game, second half, and that's for both squads. I'm not picking on Houston. I'm just calling it the way it had to happen. And when you look at that, man, they're still far away from people. You know, like they done got out the block, man. You know, a lot of track guys, you know, when you talk about track, you got to get out that block, man. They done got out the block. You know, and everybody else got to come and catch up, man. So it's interesting. So obviously we talked about that. Let's talk about what went on pregame, man. So the NFL, you know, I think has tried their best in gathering the facts and trying to put something together to address social injustice. Roger Goodell backpedaled, did a tremendous job of saying, you know what, I was wrong. You know, he said it publicly. He made a commercial. He said, you know, he apologized. Well, I don't know if he, you know, basically to me, it was an apology to Colin Kaepernick for what happened 4 years ago. And he admitted that wrongdoing. And I think they're moving forward. Like, okay, we did what we did then, but let's start from now. And my question to you guys out there, and I want you, Double A, obviously, to step in there. Is the NFL woke, or do you look at this as just pageantry, man? Is it just for show?
Yeah, I think, you know, some of it may be. A lot of it is because it happens so quick. One minute you come up with the plan, 1 year as far as how to keep guys in the locker room and how to do this. And dudes talking about finding and don't need and this and that, right? Yeah. And then all of a sudden it's like shabam, right? You're like, you know, power to the people. You got an afro. You know what I'm saying? You're picking out your afro. You're doing this. You're doing all the stuff that you need to do to be politically correct and whatnot. So I don't know. But to me at this point, whether it's genuine or not, to me, like, it's almost like being a Christian. Paul said, man, whether somebody preaching with wrong antennas or preaching this, Christ is still being preached. So it's all good, you know? And to me, it's still all good, whether it's genuine or not, whether if it's good for business or not, whatever the motive may be, just the fact that it's being brought up and we need to continue to bring it up. And regardless if their intention is pure or not, NFL, they dedicated over $250 million for over the next 10 years for social justice, right? And they're doing all the things, checking all the boxes. The thing that I like the most, though, KLEW, and it started off, if you remember, where Patrick Mahomes, Ezekiel Elliott, a gang of those young guys got together in NFL, and they came out with a promotional video. Yeah. We are the NFL. They took charge, and that's what I like the most, that the players are stepping up to the forefront. Because normally you see it in other sports, and NFL always be lacking. Matter of fact, when we did a few shows a couple months ago, somebody was calling out the NFL players and they on our show, and they responded this way, you know? So regardless if the NFL from management, executive, all that stuff is genuine in their attention, I love what the players are doing. I love the fact that they're stepping up to the forefront and getting it done. Like the Miami Dolphins, right? I want to show that video when we get time and just show you what they did, but it fits along the lines because now it's countless teams that's doing the same thing and stepping up and saying something.
Well, I enjoy the fact that, whether wrong, right, or indifferent, that they, the head of the NFL, Roger Goodell, made an apology. And now he's trying, because guess what? Very few people in executive levels of this place look like you and I.
Exactly.
So they don't know where to pull from.
Right.
You know what I mean? So they're really going out and getting this, these people and those people to try to help them decide what should we do.
Right.
And public relations folks are running crazy around the league right now, or making tons of money from the NFL right now, trying to figure out how do we navigate this? Because at the end of the day, this is horrible for business.
Yeah.
This is terrible for business. And you see them saying, so what? Right. That's basically what they're saying with the pregame shows, pageantry, whatever you want to, we gonna call it. It's definitely, the league is saying, even though I may lose fans, lose viewers, and maybe even lose some season ticket holders, it's worth it.
Yeah,
because
you know what?
I always, my brother and I talk a lot, right? And I always question him on this, and I always do when we're having a deeper conversation. We're talking about different things. I say, at the end of the day, history will be written, and what side will you end up on? And NFL saw very quickly they were on the wrong side of history the first time. Yeah, they're not going to allow that to happen again.
No doubt. And I know you mentioned earlier, I totally agree with everything you said. One thing I would add, though, that I'm a little different on, I don't know if it's bad for business right now. And what I mean is that it seems like right now what's good for business is to come out and say I'm pro-black, and to say that. I'm talking about majority. Now, obviously, right, it's still a minority and we saw some of it last night with Kansas City when the players came together, right? That it was only, I don't know how many fans Kansas City had, but they were booing. I'm like, what are you booing for? Like, no anthem is being played. This is a sign of unity, right? And it's you being booed. So right now it's a reflection of our country, right now, because right now our country is divided. It's divided. It's still divided, but I think right now majority, no more than ever, right? You've seen people get fired for social injustice, get fired for being racism, get fired. And back in the norm, it wasn't like that. So I see a nation split, but I think it is good for business. And when NFL say good for business, in a sense, a lot of corporations, you see Black Lives Matter, you see the slogans, you see that whether they believe it or not, they understand the spending dollars that Black people, if we're talking Black people, that we have Black spending dollars, and they understand that it's good for business. And so that's why one of the reasons why you see the change. Because trust me, if it was not good for business, a lot of people wouldn't be doing this.
Well, I mean, you're talking corporate America and goods and services that we purchase on a daily basis. You're comparing it to a league that basically said, hey, ain't no kneeling gonna be going on here.
Right. And
so it's not about, they know who buys tickets. Okay. They've done that assessment, and it's bad for business. when you do the ticket sale assessment, then that's why you heard boos. That's why you heard boos.
Yeah, but even KLEW though, with the ticket sales, it really don't matter because right now everybody's limited, so ticket sales taking a hit anyway. I think corporate America, that's why I'm saying it's good for business, because corporate America, everybody's woke to it. A lot of people woke to a lot of corporate America. Black Lives Matter. That's the hottest trend that's going on.
You're right.
So everybody's in. That's what I'm saying. The corporate.
But that's not NFL. I hear you, but that's
part
NFL.
of NFL. Yeah,
we're talking majority. We're talking the fan, or at least we're actually talking two different things. I'm talking the fan base. You're talking about corporate America. Those are two different people.
Yeah, that's what I'm
right.
And that's what I'm saying.
And so I'm concentrating on the boos that you heard.
Yeah.
And that's real life. That's what's really happening. What they said was happening on Main Street, that's Main Street. That's why there's been deaths after George Floyd's. Okay? Because Main Street matters. This corporate stuff, It's all for bells and whistles and for show and making sure y'all don't tear up our buildings and continue to buy from us. So I don't care what they say because they don't move the needle. The people who was born move the needle.
I think what you're saying, I understand. About
who was born in corporate? Guess what?
Corporate
guys, hey, they upstairs in the booths, MB. We don't hear them boo. You can't hear them boo. We here in Main Street boo.
But I'm saying with corporate dollars, KLEW, I mean, they pay the bills. They're the one, the image, the media, the public opinion. But it's all your about reputation that. Means a lot. I'm telling you, but I understand. I was saying,
talking about the heart. I'm not talking about the hands and the and the feet. I'm focusing on what these players walk out their house to versus, you know what I mean, and what we driving around experiencing versus what's on a commercial. Like, that's what I'm saying. I'm just saying there's a big difference when we're talking about that. Man, so this is what's going on. This is what's going to be happening every game, man. Every game. And I think, like MB said, I agree with this. It's huge that ain't a lot of fans going to be there. Because I'm telling you, I think it'd be worse. I think you couldn't even hear every pregame if the fans had something to do with it.
And why is that, KLEW? Dig a little bit deeper. I know you're talking about Main Street, because that part surprised me, because I'm like, what are they booing for? Like,
at first,
what? Can we show that? Let's show that a little bit. Hold on, let's show that.
So that part, right? You go ahead and get ready.
Let's show that. Let's show that right quick.
Please join us in a moment of silence dedicated to the ongoing fight for equality.
Now, I'm like, what are you booing for? Like, the players getting unities, like one love, we all together, right?
MB,
what?
It's so funny. We live in bubbles. We live in bubbles in which we don't interact with each other, man. Most of us have our families, obviously, are majority our race, and our and the neighborhoods necessarily that we live in. We don't interact like that. I'll let this play.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like trying to, like, this Dr. King, like, I had a dream,
Okay.
People coming together, unity.
So that moment of unity,
and that's what it was for.
Let's go to Michelle Tafoya.
That's why were they booing, KLEW? Please, I couldn't understand that. Please tell me.
Because the first thing he said is we're gonna show a sign of unity for the social injustice. That's a word that a lot of people in this country don't believe in and don't buy into. They don't think it's there's social injustice. They think that a lot of people thinking that black men deserve this treatment. That, look, I mean, think about every story that comes out. When it happens, okay, boom, oh, that's so wrong. Well, what did he do? Right. That's what what did he do?
That's what Deborah A talking about, trigger words.
Right. What did they have a gun? Well, did they have a butter knife? You see what I'm saying? And then it's like,
why did he run? Why did he go try to get in the car? Why?
Yeah.
The 3 kids was in the
you
car.
Gotta remember, like, these people, and then it's like, when that ain't enough, right? When you get a George Floyd, well, dang, he had a record. So since I had a criminal record, mean I'm supposed to die? You see what I'm saying? Like, they focus on, and this is the other side that are contrary to believing that, there is a such thing as social injustice. If you have this debate, MB, you're going to have a ton of people saying, why are we talking about this? The numbers say that this isn't a problem. When I look at this and I look at that, I'm struggling too. And you guys are saying that just because I may be white, that I'm not going through anything. I go through things too, and I go through tougher things than you. And then watch this. The things that athletes always get, you making millions. You should be standing up for the flag. Right. You making millions. And then they throw the military into it. You know what I mean? And that's still a swan song that people are singing. So it's just, as much as you think and you're believing that we're moving forward, I look at this and I say, man, besides the lynchings, besides the obvious violence and rampant injustice in the court system, the attitudes have survived all of the civil rights. The attitudes on the other side never went away, MB. And that's what you're seeing. You're seeing resentment and those deep-rooted attitudes that were taught and passed down continue to lash out. And you get, when you go to the political realm, you get, I'm going to jump on who was it who said in the comments, AA said trigger words, and politicians are great at.
Right.
And watch this on both sides.
Right.
They're great at using those trigger words. And that's all what's happening. They're turning all these social injustice. Oh, man, please. Like, you got people rolling eyes and ready to fight when you say that. Right. And then, it's so crazy. And I think you got to watch how you doing the American flag now. Listen, guys, we from the South. We live in the South. And the American flag now is posted up just like the Confederate flag was on pickup trucks. It's crazy. Yeah. It's crazy. So the American flag, they like, well, you won't let us ride with the Confederate. We're going to use that American one and ride the same way. It is crazy, man. Big old. I remember being a younger kid, and we go out the outskirts of Orlando, Clearmont area, Parker area, go out into the country, more rural area with cows on the way to Tampa, MB, on down I-4. And man, you turn off on a road and all you see is pickups and Confederate flags. Right. And I kid you not, that's what we're seeing around here. Right. And I don't know about Charlotte, but that's what we're seeing around here. Not the Confederate flag, but we're seeing the American flag posted up just like I remember the Confederate flag. So it's happening, man. It's really happening.
Yeah, man, you said a mouthful there, and I have to agree with you. I mean, when I see it's so bad, I don't know how it happened. I feel like I'm part of one of Ford experiments, right? Where now when I see American flag, I see, I now think like racism. And it used to be a flag that symbolize like freedom.
Yeah, and hope.
Because it's like, make America great again, make America great again, da da da. Now when I remember I was walking in my neighborhood during July 4th, and I was like, and I saw these American flags on different mailboxes and stuff, and my mind automatically thought about racism. And I was like, what happened?
Right.
Like, how did I now get, I don't want to say brainwashed, but how do I now see the American flag as racism? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it's like, wow, that really started me. And then it's no different with the police. When I see a police and I'm by myself or whatnot, I get nervous. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I remember
Shelly said on the show, she need her husband to come home.
Yeah.
Like, that's what she said. You're right.
So, man, it's a shame. But you know what? I love what you were saying. And I don't know if people had a chance to see it. You and I was talking about it or saw it earlier before the show. Is just this Miami Dolphins and what they put together. And they're kind of like, KLEW, what you were saying when you was talking about how you're tired of it and how it carries over. They were kind of saying the same thing. For you guys that get a chance to see it, let's turn now. I know we're running a little behind, but I want to show, if we could get this shown, I want people to see this.
That's the mystery. Or is it just another symbolic victory? Now there's two anthems. Do we kneel? Do we stand? If we could just right our wrongs, we wouldn't need two songs.
We don't need another publicity parade.
So we'll just stay inside
until it's time to play the game.
Whatever happened to the funds that were promised? All of a sudden, we got a glass pocket?
The bottom line should not be the net profit.
You can't open your heart when it's controlled by your wallet.
Decals and patches.
Fireworks and trumpets?
We're not puppets.
Don't publicize false budgets.
ask the pundits, and we shouldn't have a say.
If you speak up for change, then I'll shut up and play.
If we remain silent, that would just be selfish.
Since they don't have a voice, we're speaking up for the helpless.
It's not enough to act like you care for the troops.
Millions for pregame patriotism. You made the salute.
Lift every voice and sing.
It's just a way to save face.
Lose the mask and stop hiding the real game face.
So if my dad was a soldier, but the cops killed my brother, do I stand for one anthem and then kneel for the other?
This attempt to unify only creates more divide.
So we'll skip this song and dance.
And as a team, we'll stay inside.
We need changed hearts, not just a response to pressure.
Enough. No more fluff and empty gestures.
We need owners with influence and pockets bigger than ours.
To call up officials.
And flex political power.
When education is not determined by where we reside.
And we have the means to purchase what the doctor prescribed.
And you fight for prison reform and innocent lives. And you repair the communities that were tossed to the side.
And you admit you gained from it and you swallowed your pride.
And when greed is not the compass, but love is the guide.
And when the courts don't punish skin color, but punish the crime.
Until then, we'll just skip the long production and stay inside.
For centuries, we've been trying to make you aware.
Either you're in denial or just simply don't really care.
It's not a black-white thing.
Or a left-right thing.
Let's clean the whole bird
and stop arguing about which wing.
Wow. Steve
wondering and guessing.
Steve tell us even after serving 20 years in the Navy, I get nervous when I see the police behind me.
Yeah.
It's real, man. And one statement that was made by a guy that just hit me, MB, was because I hadn't heard this. MB will tell you.
Right.
I hadn't heard this. So it's funny how close what we said was together.
Right. That's what I was saying.
The attempt to unify only keeps the divide is what I heard one of the guys say. So that if I had known that, I would have said that and only that. You know me, MB. I prefer to be quick and to the point.
Right.
So that's actually all I said. I know I said a lot, but that's all I said. Man, we gotta move on. We can't keep.
Hey, Alan, it was the Miami Dolphin players that did that, and at the end, you saw the head coach come on board with that. But supposedly, it was all generated by the players that did it. Man, that was powerful. That was KLEW. What you're talking about, man? It's time to stop trying to sweep stuff under the rug. It's time to stop ignoring the pink elephant in the room. Like they're asking for real change, and that's what this whole thing about.
Right, and they call. I don't know if you heard. It's either they called out the owners. That was the whole message.
That was the thing. They was wondering like who are they calling out? Huh?
Yeah, different fronts. They attacked the owners.
Well, and that was the thing but the owner though, in one side, he's got the black general manager, black head coach, right? He's doing all the things.
They're not specifically talking to him. They're talking to the NFL
owners. Okay.
Yeah, that's not for him. So that's what I was saying. Yeah, it's an attack against the NFL owners. I'm sorry, I didn't clarify.
Well, the whole thing. But one person brought up they actually say, are they attacking him because he's been playing both sides of the fence? On one breath, he's doing these things, but on the second breath, he's a major Trump contributor and doing everything for Trump, and Trump is like one of the major figures for division. That's what they was trying to say.
So that brings politics in it, and you can go both ways with that. So I love to stay away from that and just stay with the fact of, guess what? The guy said y'all promised a lot of stuff that ain't happened.
Exactly. And you know who it sounded like? It sounded like, remember Boston Celtics? I think it was maybe Brown that said the same thing. Like, we're doing this bubble. Y'all promised a lot of things. Y'all said how y'all was going to do the voting, but y'all didn't do that. And, just a lot of empty promises and stuff. So,
so we gonna move on and listen. MB and I got some NFL division champs and a Super Bowl prediction, man, for y'all. So we ain't discussed it. I promise you that. I have no idea what he gonna say as usual. when MB try to get me to talk about stuff I refuse to. Only thing he'll get me to talk about is stuff we ain't gonna talk about. So we can start MB whatever you want. I'm gonna start with a division. You can go with another one. Like, it doesn't matter, because we ain't even talk about the order of this. But NFC West is the first one that came to mind, obviously, because to me, this the toughest division in football. I don't even think it's close anywhere else. Top to bottom, especially how good Arizona just got in the offseason. I think this division is just going to be crazy, MB.
Yeah, I think it's got a great division. Obviously, I spent 3 years there coaching with the Seattle Seahawks, so know this division well, and I definitely agree with you. It's definitely a tough division based on what you mentioned about Arizona and as far as with DeAndre Hopkins and what he brings to the table and whatnot, the things they did. But I don't think they did enough. I think this right now, and the Rams, obviously, they were the leader a couple years ago. They just signed Jalen Ramsey to a huge deal. But I think they haven't really did anything as well to improve them. They're actually going in the opposite direction.
Correct.
Based on their Super Bowl year. So I think it's down to a two-man race, and I think San Francisco, I think they're the leaders. I let them leapfrog my Seattle Seahawks right now, because San Fran, even though they traded one of their best defensive players, and I think but that one to me was all based on salary cap. They was able to trade him, get a first-round pick. They was able to they made some additions. They got Trent Williams. They got some body parts. It's just a matter of them just not being drunk on being the runner-up from the Super Bowl and getting it done again, because sometimes when you lose, you can let that loss affect the following season. And I think that's not going to be their case, So I see them being a leader out the West. I see them doing it narrowly, getting ahead of Seattle Seahawks, because Seattle still got some issues, I think, defensively, even though they traded for one of the best safeties, Adams, in the league. They're still got some major concern up front that they haven't really solved. They missed out on a first-round draft pick a couple years ago that really not doing anything for them on the D-line. So I see San Francisco coming out the West as the leaders.
Well, when I look at it, I can agree with you with the Rams. If you compare them to themselves, they fall way off.
No doubt.
But I think they're going to make a lot of noise outside of the division. Outside of the division is what they looking to do, which puts them right back where you said, at the bottom.
Yes.
I love Arizona, man. It wouldn't shock me if Arizona is fighting at the end of the year to be a second team coming out of this division to be a playoff team. However, the 49ers, I kind of think they will get drunk off of their success. I don't think Jimmy Garoppolo played to the level that I was expecting last year, even though they went to the Super Bowl. And I'm looking for him. I'm not seeing where he's going to improve a whole bunch to like take the bull by the horn like a Russell Williams Wilson. Russell Wilson will. And I'm looking forward to Russell Wilson taking his team and actually winning this division.
Oh, so you're going with Seattle. I got you.
Yeah, I'm going with Seattle. I'm going opposite of you. Same two teams. I said a whole lot to me. MB, guess what? It's a two-man race. Yeah. I'm going with the other team. You got a division, or you want me to keep it moving?
Oh, no, keep going.
NFC East. This is our favorite division.
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
Listen, and look here.
Black and blue, baby.
Man, look, man, when you talk about the NFC East, the only thing I think about, it doesn't matter the year, is run game and stopping the run. I don't care what year you're talking about. You going to know a running back out of that division, and you going to know some defensive players out of that division. And nothing has changed. You say running back, you say NFC East, guess who we say? Ezekiel Elliott. So still
and Saquon Barkley.
Yeah, Saquon Barkley, exactly. So you still got that.
And Miles Sanders.
Yeah. You can do the same. And man, you look at the NFC East, MB, how do you break it down?
I'm gonna go with the Cowboys. I think although all the teams in that division struggling on defense.
Yep.
Right? Struggling on defense. All of them right now. And I think right now the better offense will be the Cowboys. I mean, obviously, Dak just came out with some real issues and stuff from a mental standpoint, dealing with the loss of his brothers. He's talking about some depression and stuff that he was fighting. And so our prayers go out to him. And then obviously a lot of pressure on him, contract year again, you know. It's a lot of different stuff, man, that's going on. So, but I think playing football and whatnot, going in there, it's gonna be good for him, keep him busy and whatnot. And I just think offensively, just with the first round pick alone with D Lamb, adding him into the mix, they potentially can have 3 receivers get or 3 people over 1,000 yards, you know, and have a running back with Ezekiel Elliott get it done. And Dak Prescott easily could pull a Drew Brees, an old Drew Brees, and possibly throw for 5,000. Who knows? But I think offensively, man, they got the best offense in that division. I see them pulling it out again.
Hey, I can't agree with you more. When you look around, you see Washington, that's a disaster happening. You look at the Giants, and man, they got a long way to go. I'm just going to be nice about it. They got a long way to go defensively. They got 2 pieces of the puzzle offensively, but, I mean, when Golden Tate's your number 1 receiver and he's not the Golden Tate of old, you having issues on offense. You look at Philly, and to me, y'all, after winning the Super Bowl, this is what you've given us? This is disappointing. This is disappointing from a player standpoint, especially from a general management standpoint, because you guys aren't able to get the talent in there. Not enough talent to compete for another Super Bowl. So, and then Carson Wentz, man, you got to keep a real quarterback on deck, which is why y'all went to Oklahoma and got Jalen Hurts with the second in the second round. And people are wondering, why would you do that? Why wouldn't you do that? This dude ain't gonna make it. So you need some help. But I look at the Dallas Cowboys, man, and when I look at them, you know, it's so funny, LB, because I'm like, I think of Dallas and I think Emmett, Troy, and Michael. Oh, stop. Wait a minute. Did I just go back too far, LB? They ain't still playing?
No,
I think they still playing. They just calling them Ezekiel, Dak, and Amani Cooper, baby. I think that's what they call them now. And then, LB, it's like we playing spades, and I'm struggling a little bit, but I got 3 in a possible, and I just named you 3, and CD Lamb is the possible, baby. I like the Dallas Cowboys as well. Moving on to the NFC North, who you got?
Oh man, I'm going with Minnesota Vikings.
Wow.
I think right now, based on what they did last year, they're a team that's still trying to build on that success. Them making a trade for Yannick helps them a lot defensively, especially with Hunter going on a injury reserve. You know, and obviously only for 3 games now since they changed the rules. So I like them. I like them in that division. I think they could put it together. Obviously, Green Bay did some things, but I was really disappointed that Green Bay didn't do enough to build around Aaron Rodgers. You know, they went for a quarterback, went to try to find his replacement. I don't think it's time to replace him. But I think Minnesota Vikings right now, I give them the edge because to me, they got the offense, they got the defense, they got a taste of the playoff, and they want some more. They're hungry right now.
That's a great pick. I'm going to definitely follow your lead, but the only reason I'm going to follow your lead is the same reason you just said. Green Bay, what's the problem? Like, you do nothing? You giving up on the year? Well, you should have tried to trade him and move him and get some picks out of it because that's really where you are. You gave him no help. He's back out there by himself. But when you look at Minnesota, man, I love, you know, they had Gary kind of as a consultant last year. Oh, cool. Gary Cool. Denver guy. Under Shanahan, under Mike Shanahan. Gary done came back. He got the play calling duties, and you know what run scheme he done brought to town. Outside, inside, baby. That's all we do with every time.
And Dalvin Cook, that's what he does. He does that well. Did at Florida State, killed the contract year for him as well. So I see him having a big year, man.
You see that? Listen, Listen, that zone, inside, outside run, if you played Denver during them days, it'll be, I just remember, and we're going to talk about this. We played after, we played the night, September 10th.
Yeah.
And flew back and got back September 11th. And you remember what happened? They were still running. They still running today. Exactly. They might have put 400 on us, right?
Yeah,
It was something crazy on the ground. On the ground, 400.
Yeah,
I was like, is Mike still running? Yeah. Like I was dreaming he was running that night. MB, get him down, MB.
That was a sad feeling, God.
Boy, hey, some of this stuff that be so funny, because I think somebody said that in the meeting. That was one of the meetings where we watched the tape together and then we threw it in the trash. Hey guys, some stuff MB knows as a player and a coach. Some stuff you can't coach off of. You just be like,
just take your L and keep it moving.
Man, scrap that tape. We're going right to the NFC South, MB. What do you think?
Oh, now this right here is a really tough one, right? And I love I mean, obviously what Tampa Bay has done. Anytime you get the GOAT at quarterback, I mean, and then their defense was doing extremely well. They was
right.
They got them going on. Excuse me, defensively. I mean, then they added Leonard Fournette, right? So, I mean, then the receiving core they have. I mean, just from a scheme standpoint, you know, you're saying, okay, are they going to adjust this? Are they going to adjust their offensive scheme to fit Brady, or they still got to try to throw the deep ball? And I read today the general manager say Tom Brady arm is even stronger, right?
Oh, boy,
he's a bionic man, right?
Hey, you ain't even saying that with a straight face. You closed your eyes when you said that.
Yeah, that's what he said. So this is tough for me because I love my Saints, man, Coach Payton. So I'm gonna go with my heart with this. So I'm gonna go with New Orleans Saints, barely beating Tampa Bay, pulling it out. But I'm gonna go with the Saints.
Well, I think that's an easy pick, MB. We know that a lot of football is about camaraderie. It's about gelling. It's about hitting your stride at the right times. It's a lot to do with just being together. And I'm not so sure they can pull that off. You know, if we talking about this is year 2, I'm looking at this completely different.
Or like you said, a normal off season, right?
Right.
Or even because right now they have no preseason games, they have no real bullets, you know.
Right.
So they've been basically practicing against themselves. So I can say it's gonna take them a while to get going on.
Right. And because of that, I'm gonna go. And I ain't even picking with my heart. I'm picking with my head when I say New Orleans Saints because of what I think the Bucks have to overcome. But I think we got to mention this. If we in the NFC South, it's one team we ain't even talking about, and it was always in the predictions, and that's the Atlanta Falcons and Matty Ice. When are we gonna stop saying that? When are we gonna take him out of the great quarterback list? It is what it is, y'all. He ain't winning. Shut up and win is what I need. What I got to say to them Falcons.
I like me, Matty Ice. He's solid. I mean, obviously when they should have won a Super Bowl, right?
Okay,
and that's a whole nother thing. Is the coach that San Fran and whatever. That's a whole nother subject. But no, I mean, I think based on what they're doing. See, their system is based on having talent, and to me, they really haven't done enough to replace the talent they lost that either got hurt or.
You paid him $100 million. I mean, that's all the talent you need.
No, you need more than that, and that's the issue. That's what Philly's facing now. They played Carson Wentz that money, so it's hard to build around them when you have that money. A lot of people are feeling that. I mean.
When you get paid like that, MB, you got to take some of that pressure. You got to
no doubt.
Hey, you deserve anything said to you if you ain't winning. I'm taking the gloves off. He got to win.
But you can't say that he's the reason why they losing, Matty Ice. I don't.
He also the reason why they ain't winning.
So I think he's got to have. I mean, he got Julio Jones. He give him the ball. He's got that. But the way they built, man, defensively, they had a lot of injuries last year. A lot of star players was hurt.
How much flack
they made some
did in Carolina?
You
Who
said
was
what?
down there helping him?
Say what?
How much flack did Cam get in Carolina, and who was down there helping him?
Yeah, well, I mean,
you see, I don't got no patience for this. Okay? I'm gonna call it how I see it. Hey, the network ain't paying me. I'm gonna call it how I see it.
Me too. Hey, but the thing about it though, what you brought up a good point, right? See, yeah, they was attacking Cam because Cam didn't produce. He was hurt. He didn't produce. Right. You look at Matty Ice numbers. Matty Ice numbers is still Pro Bowl numbers. Okay. So you can't blame him like he's the reason why they're losing. He's stepping up and making it happen. Now with Cam, right? You can look at Cam and say, well, it's a question mark when Cam was at Carolina and he was hurt this past year.
Well, I don't want to hear nothing about him being an elite quarterback either. Because I don't want to hear nothing about him being an elite quarterback because they moved the win column, the win and loss column. Go.
I mean, it's only so. I mean, like I said, I keep going back to Dan Marino. He's one of the greatest, right? And only 1 year he took the Dolphins to the Super Bowl, or like my uncle want to say, the mullets, right? We call them the mullets. So I'm just saying you got to have some playmakers around him. He's got Julio Jones. He's got
had them. He's had more talent than Dan ever had. He's had more talent than Dan Marino's ever had.
And he did something with it, but last year they had to deal with injuries, man.
Hey, look, man.
I'm just saying.
I just hear you getting a lot of excuses. NFC, hey, the AFC. Let's get over to the AFC.
Hey, Adam agree with you. He say send Matty back to Boston College, man.
AFC North. Man. Who you got there? I think this is another easy one, man.
Why? Tell me who you got.
Baltimore. I think they were very disappointed last year. I think they're gonna come out with a chip on their shoulder. I think Lamar Jackson is gonna put that loss on himself, like he should, because he looks at it like that's on me. I should have won it for us, and I think he's gonna carry that throughout the season. And that's going to be good for his team to fight, knowing that their quarterback going to take all the blame. So I like them. When I look below that, you know, Big Ben coming back, but I think it's pretty much done, man. He's had way too many injuries. I look at Pittsburgh like they need to hit that reset button in a hurry before our boy be getting shipped out of there. So I need them to hit the reset there. But I think the most interesting team, again, is going to be the Cleveland Browns. And I'm talking about the most interesting team in the NFL. Because I have no faith that that quarterback round there that think he all that little Johnny, little big Johnny Benson. Hey, I think that we're going to hear a lot from Odell this year. I think Odell told the line, said all the things he was supposed to say. This year, he ain't trying to lose. So I think as soon as when they get out there and Baker Mayfield ain't playing right, you're going to hear the chirps from Odell Beckham. Odell Beckham got probably like 8 million followers. He going to go to tweet, and they're going to be in trouble.
I could agree with that because right now they got a new head coach, right? I love him. I love the ability, the talent. I mean, there's the general manager doing a good job of getting the talent. They got enough athletes to get it done. Obviously, I think this division remind me of the NFC West division. This is a tough division right here. When you talk about Pittsburgh, you talk about Baltimore, and then you add Cleveland in the mix, right? I think those top 3 teams right there. Those some good teams, right? But you're right. Cleveland got the talent, but they can't. Can they put it together? Can they come as a team and get it done? They spend some money on offensive line, getting that improved, right? They got the playmakers at the skill position defensively, trying to do some things. But I think Baltimore. I think Baltimore right now, especially even releasing Earl Thomas, it shows you a lot about their overall mindset All right. Big team, little me. You're right. That they're all in. And I think sometimes when you do a move like that, it rallies the troops around because it lets the players know, like, man, the coach really believe in us because we voiced that we wanted that done, and he did it. And so even now, if they didn't play hard for him, they're gonna play even harder. And just like what you say with Lamar Jackson, man, they already on betted against him, right? When he came in the league. And then now, based on what happened, even though he won the MVP, what happened in the playoff, all right, he's a guy that responds to those types of challenges, man. And I just see that he's also going to overcome the so-called Madden curse and get it done, man.
Man, Madden curse. That's funny. You threw me off with that one. AFC West, I got 2 initials, KC. And that's it for me.
Yeah, that's it for me. And we can keep it moving. I mean, you look at the Chargers, the Raiders, and who else in that division? Chargers,
the only thing I thought was cool when I was studying it, looking at Las Vegas Raiders, like that was cool. That was cool. Looking at Las Vegas, like that's gonna take me a while. I'm gonna mess up their name a lot, but y'all ain't gonna care because I don't know how much we gonna talk about them this year.
Yeah, it's Kansas City head down, man. Kansas City, man, they picked up where they left off from last year. You see it based on the game yesterday, man. I mean, they got the best quarterback in the league, man. They got the best team. I mean, offense is getting even better. I mean, defense going to improve. I mean, it's hands down, man. They could repeat as champions.
Hey, man, you talked the last time we was on the show about homecoming games. What's that, 8 homecoming games? For Kansas City?
Exactly, right?
They cheat.
No doubt.
AFC South, you got Indy and Mr. Phillip Rivers, the Tennessee Titans, and Houston Texans. I'm going to throw my pick out there right away. I think the Texans going to take this division.
You think the Texans?
The Texans. Deshaun Watson never ceases to amaze me, man. That dude, this is going to be a tough division. I think they'll all be within the Titans, Indy, and Houston. You know, a team that's going to win their division maybe 10-6, MB. So you ain't 9-7. You're not talking about, I don't think any of these teams are going to just run away with it because of them keeping it close. Deshaun Watson just plays well when all the chips are on the line, man. He finds a way. And I think most of the games, division-wise, are going to be like that. And that plays well for him.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a battle. This is another tough division. And you're right, obviously you got to start with them, but it's just kind of hard for me to cheer for them after they get rid of DeAndre Hopkins. That right there just blows me away. And then obviously they got an older team. They got to stay healthy. J.J. Watts, he's been hurt last 2 out of 3 years. He got to get it done. Other guys. And then I like what the coach did with Steven Rivers, but what Steven Rivers are you going to get in that system? He's got a great offensive line, right, that can protect him. I mean, Phillip, excuse me, right? Yeah. He's got a great offensive line in front of him that can protect him, give him time. He's got some skill position. And defensively, they did a great job, young team defensively. I like the moves that they add. So I can see them, like, challenging. And then Tennessee Titans, right? Can Tannehill do it again? Obviously, we know what Derrick Henry brings to the table with the run game. They actually got rid of some ads to track. They got Clowney. So, I mean, with their formula, you know, and I'm concerned about the defense. I think this is a toss-up, man. So, let me see what I'm going to go with. I'm going to go with the Colts. I'm going to think
Steven going to get behind Phillip.
I think he could do it. So, I'm gonna throw him a Scooby snack. Maybe he can resurrect himself, you know, and get it done, man. I'm gonna go with.
I think he had better weapons than San Diego, and you know, I know
no doubt. I think so too.
You know, he couldn't get it done. So we moved out of the divisions. We done ran through the playoffs already. So now I need your 2 teams and then your final.
No, we forgot one division. We forgot one. The AFC East.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I skipped them on purpose.
Since
I'm looking right now.
You got Buffalo. Who you got? The Bills.
Too. Hey, look, man, it's flip a coin. No, my bad. No, I like New England, man, and I think Cam gonna put this team on his back just to win the division, and I think that's a Super Bowl for them. You know what I mean? for what they're dealing with, how they've been depleted roster wise, and then bringing in Cam, I think that's a Super Bowl win for him. Just them winning the division. MB.
You know what? I'm going with the hometown team, man. You know, hey, drug test me after this one, man. Hey, drug test me. I'm going with the Dolphins, man. I'm going with the Miami Mullets, man, to get it done, man. That video they did pumped me up, man. I'm going with them. They made some changes. They got some free agents, right? They made some moves, right? They got a head coach that believe in them, right? Did the video with them. I'm going with them, man. Just off the sake of just whatever. I'm going with them.
Hey, I'm a throwback at you too, MB. You did a great job when we were talking about the quarterbacks, what rookies was gonna start. You definitely pointed out that Trubisky was gonna get the nod. I agree with you. And then, but right here, I don't remember.
No, I was with Fitzpatrick.
Okay, so you went with Fitz, right? Yeah. And I wanted him to be sat down. And
you said he'll be out for like 2-3 years. 2 years.
Well, not 3.
Yeah,
but
two. Yeah.
I wanted this year to be really for him to be healthy, him to learn next year. Yeah. Because you said they paid Fitz anyway, so he can sit.
Well, I mean, they paid him 2 days. It wasn't a substantial amount of money where they can't get him out there,
But 2 years and then him to take over, right? I mean, second year for Tua to be able to take over.
When they signed him last year, he was a stopgap quarterback. That's why I was mentioning that they try to approach Teddy Bridgewater with the same thing, right? Knowing that they were tanking, right, to put them in a position to get to, and they end up getting him anyway. And then obviously Joe Burrows stood up, and nobody expected him. But I think Fitzpatrick, man, I think with the changes they made, brought on the free agent, and then the one change I keep in mind is Chan Gailey. They got him off the couch as the offensive coordinator. So I'm curious to see what he does. That kind of surprised me. But I'm obviously see what he does, his background, and get it done and see what happens, man. But I'm going with the Dolphins. I think right now, obviously, like Adam said, you can't bet against Belichick, and I agree with you, man. But my heart, I'm going to just go with the Dolphins just because of the video they made, just because of the change. I'm going with the hometown team, man.
Hey, look, so we move forward and now give our Super Bowl teams and then Super Bowl champs. So MB, who are your 2 teams?
Ooh, I'm going with Kansas City. All right. And I'm gonna go with Minnesota.
Wow, that's huge.
And I'm going with Kansas City to win it all.
So I got one of the same teams doing the same thing in Kansas City.
Okay.
Being there and winning it all. But they gonna play Jared boys, man. I'm going with them Cowboys, man.
Cowboys. They got enough defense, man.
I'm going with the Cowboys, man. I think the league is about offense. I think they are going to exploit those weapons. I think CeeDee Lamb is going to be a difference maker. Now you got 2 fast dudes outside running down. Man, I think, listen, that's what our league is saying now. And you got Ezekiel who can do it all. Zeke can line up in the slot, man. Don't get it twisted. Okay. Yeah. So I think if they broaden what he does in the playbook, I think teams will be in trouble with him. So
my boy Steven Rivers, he got our G-man. He said the Giants, baby.
Yeah, that's his heart. I love him too. That's his heart. Me and MB trying to be right around here. you just going with your heart. You get on here, you'll change. Yeah. Hey man, so we're gonna move right into college. I knew this was gonna be a long one because we had NFL in the building.
Yeah.
Okay, so